Hey guys, today I want to teach you guys how to effectively learn to code without having a computer science degree or any bootcamp certificate. Many people are actually stuck and confused right now about coding because some people told them or they feel like they have to have a computer science degree or a coding bootcamp certificate to be able to learn coding effectively and to be able to get a job in that industry. And I want to speak into you with this particular video. So listen very well, and if you follow my tips, you will learn coding effectively and land your dream job. So I'm going to show you how to do this. I will show you some free resources. They are free but so powerful, and as well as also show you some paid ones. So when you are convinced that you actually want to go into coding, I want to start with giving you the first step. So the first step to getting into that particular field is to learn how to learn coding. Yes, you heard that right. You need to learn how to learn coding. Coding has its own style and pattern of being learned. So the way you learn other skills might not work with coding. A lot of people thought that when you want to learn coding, you just need a book or a video to watch or a book to read, and then that's it. Learning to code does not actually work that way. If you don't learn how to learn coding first, you are most likely going to give up or end up not learning it at all because you are going to be thinking that it's too hard to learn, too tough, too time consuming when you really are not actually learning it the right way. Look, coding is fun, okay? The reason you are not finding it fun is because you have not actually learned how to learn coding first. Once you have learned how to learn coding, it becomes fun and exciting to learn the actual coding. So do not think that you do not have the capacity or the guts to learn coding. You have the guts and the ingenuity to learn coding. You just need to learn how to learn coding first of all before actually going to learn how to code itself. Learning how to learn coding, that's the next thing that we're going to actually take a look at right now, and we're still in the first step. So I want to actually break learning how to learn coding into a few powerful lines right here. So let me give you a few tips on learning how to learn coding. A, work on your mindset. Work on your mindset to recognize the fact that learning how to code is a process. Work on your mindset to recognize the fact that coding is an art. And work on your mindset to recognize the fact that coding is a journey and it requires patience and perseverance. Be patient with you and the learning curve. B, paint a clear picture of you going to solve a real world problem using your coding skill. This will give you an energy and motivate you to stand strong within. This will also help you to select the right languages and technologies that you will learn when you're actually ready to learn coding. The next one is coding is hands-on practical. You need to know why I say this. If you have painted a clear picture of what you are going to do with the skill that you are going to learn, it is time to know that you are going to immerse yourself with practicals, not just sitting and then watching tutorials or reading the books without doing anything with using your machine to actually learn the coding itself. Okay, the next thing that I want us to actually take a look at is that you are going to make some mistakes when you decide that you are going to go into coding. It's definitely going to happen to you. You will make some mistakes, but I want you to understand that making mistakes and having failures are part of learning. Okay, so mistakes and failures are forever lovely couples in coding. You will never escape them completely, especially when you are starting out newly. You learn more from these mistakes, errors, and failures in this field. So be ready to make some mistakes and encounter some errors. When you do encounter those errors, don't give up on you. Persist on debugging your errors yourself before moving on. You are capable of learning how to code. You have all it takes. The next thing is create a coding environment and then time for yourself. You will need to stay in an environment that can help you focus and concentrate. You may not be able to code in a club or places like that. Find a place that you will be at a full force learning to code, and do have a timetable for yourself while you do this and stick to the timetable. Discipline yourself to learn it every day. So that is just that, guys. So let's move on to the second step, and the second step is going to actually talk about learning the code itself. Okay, learning to code itself. That's what we're going to be taking a look at right now. And before we're actually diving into learning to code, I want you to write this down before we begin. If coding is easy, learn it easy. If coding is hard, learn it hard. You are going to just learn it. End of discussion. So that is just that. So having written that down, and it's doing some kind things on your mind right now, it's reshaping your mindset. I want us to briefly take a look at the roadmap to learning how to actually code fast and land your dream job. Number one, what is your objective for learning how to code? You need to know this. So try and find out what your objective is. What is your interest? You want to know your interest for learning how to code. Are you interested in web development, artificial intelligence, data analysis, desktop apps, mobile apps? You need to know what your interest is because it will help you in narrowing down or the technologies to select, because there is just a ton of languages and technologies. Number two, choose the programming language or technology. If you had a clear goal and objective about what you want to accomplish, choosing a programming language will not be a problem for you. There is Python, there is PHP, there's JavaScript, there is Java, Ruby, and a good number of them out there. Okay, so people that their interest is in web development will have to work with a combination of languages or technologies. But you must start with the basic building blocks of every web application, and that is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML and JavaScript are so easy to learn. Your first real programming language is probably going to be JavaScript. If you want to learn a backend language first after HTML and CSS, that's actually fine. However, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, these are front-end languages. Number three, get learning resources. Online resources have proven to be awesome so far. There is a ton of resources that are online for you to learn, both free and paid resources. You can get a lot of free resources on W3 Schools, YouTube, Free Codecamp, Udemy, and quite a lot of other ones that are available out there. Plus the big player, ChatGPT. It is a powerful teacher right now. In fact, ChatGPT has already changed the game. What are you waiting for? Get on it. Next is to start. If you have decided on the resources, languages, and objective by now, start the coding proper. And if you are stuck on where to start from the basics and move your way up from there. Practice and practice and practice. Consistency is key to actually learning to code. So practice regularly. If you get burnout, take a break, but don't stay away for too long. If you stay away for too long, that part of your brain that you are actually conditioning into learning how to code may readjust and then drain your passion for coding. So the fifth one is that I want you to try to do not remember your lines of code. Okay, I know that a good number of you are going to be trying to remember the lines of code that they write. It's natural with everybody. They want to try to remember the lines of code, but doing such a thing is actually going to make the learning of code so tough for you. So you don't have to remember how the lines of code that you have written. In fact, what you need to do is to understand them. Okay, understand your lines of code. A lot of people are actually going to try to remember these lines of code that they have actually written, and what you want to do is to actually understand the code, not memorizing the lines of code. Effective coding involves not just memorizing syntax, but also understanding how different programming constructs work, how they interact with each other, and how to solve problems using them. This is why it is often recommended to focus on learning how to learn coding rather than just relying solely on memorization. Okay, see, understanding the underlying principles and being able to think critically and creatively are crucial skills in coding. You understand that? So number 6, project-based coding. Once you are done with the fundamentals of any language, start building real-world projects. This is where you will immerse yourself into fully understanding the language. If you achieve those personal projects, real-world projects that solve real problems, you will begin to feel confident. You need a mentor. That's number 7. You are going to need a mentor. There will be times when you are going to feel like giving up. There will come a time when you will begin to feel like you are not good enough. Only your mentor will save you at this time. Stay connected to someone who is actually doing it big in that field. Let them inspire you. Learn from them. Number 8, collaboration and communities. You will want to join some coding communities, channels, forum, interact and then ask questions, attend workshops, meetups, and connect with coders. And in conclusion right now, remember that learning to code is a journey that requires patience and perseverance. Celebrate your small successes, no matter how small, and keep pushing yourself to improve. Practice makes improvements, not perfection, and there is no perfect coder out there. So don't let anybody sell you or steer you down the road by saying that you have to be perfect in coding. Now it is time for you to apply for jobs. So the first thing you need to do when you are ready to actually apply for a job is to build your portfolio, have some code on GitHub or CodePen, anywhere that you want to put some code up, that will be fine. Apply to jobs and win. And hey, before I actually go, can I actually tell you when to know that you have actually learned a new language, a new programming language? Can I actually tell you that? Yes. Once you can build a CRUD application, when you have learned that language to a level that you cannot build a CRUD application, then you have actually learned that particular language. And if you don't know what CRUD is, it's just an acronym for create, read, update, and delete. So create means being able to add new data to the database or record system. So once you are able to create and be able to add data to a database or a record system, that's actually a huge win for you. And after that, the next one is read. And read means being able to fetch existing data or retrieving data from the database. So once you are able to create data, put them into the database, you want to know how to actually read them. That existing data that is actually on the database, you want to know how to read them and then fetch them. Okay, then after that, the next one that is actually very important in there from the CRUD is update. And this one means being able to modify or edit an existing data in the database or record system. So once we are able to create something and then put them into the database, you can now read them, such as fetching them onto a web page. You want to learn how to update them. Let's say, for instance, there is a mistake in the title of a particular blog. You want to know how to edit that and then replace what you had there earlier with a new title. And after that, the last one, which is not actually the least, is delete, which means being able to remove data from the database or record system completely. So if you have something that is on the database that is not actually needed anymore, you want to flush that out. You want to remove that completely from your database. And that is just what it is when we talk about CRUD application. So you haven't got to this level, it simply means that you have actually learned that particular language. Okay, so if you have learned any languages up to this level, go and apply for jobs if that is what you actually want to do. Most universities and colleges won't even teach you up to this level. Even boot camps. I went to a university, but I never learned how to build anything useful until I graduated. I only began to build something useful when I decided to use online resources, and channels like Traverse Media actually helped me to be able to build real stuffs. If you are not subscribed to the channel already, I want you to subscribe right now. And if you like this video, if this video has actually helped you, if you have gotten cool stuff from this video, I want you to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe, and then I'll see you in the next one.